Welcome to the Shrink Wrap Show. I'm Pam Hernandez-Kaufman.
And I'm Talia Peak. We're two shrinks bringing you holistic health hacks.
With our 30 years of combined experience in therapy, we share helpful information about common issues that everyone faces.
Then we break down powerful, proven tools you can start using right away to better your life and your relationships.
Let's wrap.
Welcome back to the Shrink Wrap Show. Today, we're going to talk about building unity.
We really think this is an important issue, and we're kind of going to wing it with you, kind of going off script today. We've been talking a lot about how there is disunity and disharmony and division and divisiveness just all over the place relative to the political arena. In marriages, I just had several sessions so far this week where there's just this, I'm right, you're wrong, I don't get you, why do you act that way? And, we kind of just want to pull that apart. What causes this inability to come into the middle and see it from someone else's perspective and be okay with our differences?
Right. I think a lot of this comes to the idea of how much emotional intelligence do we have as a person? And when I talk about emotional intelligence, it's different from IQ, so the intelligence quotient. But emotional intelligence is really more on, are you able to be self-aware of how you feel? And are you aware of how other people feel? And can you be empathetic towards the other person? And
without agreeing with them.
Yeah, without agreeing to them. So it's okay for you
We disagree a lot.
Rights and you have a right?
I have rights, you have rights. Yeah. And it's okay if we walk away from something not fully understanding why is that person parked there. But we want to talk about the C word.
Yeah.
Curious.
Yes, the curious.
It's really important that we stay always in a posture of curiosity all through life. What is it about that person's behavior? What is it about what that person acts like, talks like, sounds like, feels like? What's going on with them? What's their history? What's their story?
Yeah.
Because I've found that the more I know about where someone's coming from, the more I can find a place of empathy.
Right.
And one of the things for us as therapists, we have to find a place of connection.
Yeah.
We have to find a place of I can see where you're coming from there. Even if we're talking about hard issues, right? Like the parent who's abusive or the man or woman who is a batterer. Where can I find how they got to that point?
Yep.
So if we're talking about differences and this desire to build a bridge between you and me, we have to start with, I'm curious about knowing how did you get to where you got?
Where's the historical context?
Where's the historical context?
Yeah.
And then, I think sometimes we feel we're driven by fear that there has to be a right, there has to be a wrong, and there has to be a right answer. And so I've got to defend that, and I've got to stand up for that with you, or everything's going to hell in a handbasket or whatever.
I have to make you bend to my will so you know exactly what I mean, and you can follow what I do.
Yeah, and then I'll feel more comfortable. I'll feel more safe. And I was just telling Talia, I'm a recovered legalist. I used to believe with my entire heart that it was my job to tell someone that is sin to do that. That is wrong. You're going to get in trouble. I gotta pray over you with that issue. And, I really thought I was doing the right thing. I really thought I was doing a godly thing. And then I sort of studied what Jesus does.
Yeah, which
he doesn't do that.
No, he puts people in their place on it, actually.
He does.
He does.
And to the person who's not a legalist, he loves them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what we're really about is we always talk about how we're so much more similar than we're different. And we're just looking to be understood.
Yeah.
And to fit and to belong and to feel like we matter. Right. Those core needs that we have that drive us, that need for connection, that need to feel like I'm part of and I'm okay the way I am.
Right. And it's really important for us if we want to come to the point of other people understanding where we are or correcting a person, we have to come from that point of connection first before we can correct anything.
What's that saying? Nobody cares how much I know until they know how much I care. And so coming from a place of, I've built a platform of connection with someone, and that gives me a little bit of an opportunity to maybe speak into their life something that I may see, but it is not my job to tell someone how to live, or to how to be, or what's right or wrong for them. I mean, we know this from therapy. We're not going to tell a client, go do this. Ooh, that's a bad idea. We are there to be a sounding board. We're there to bring up maybe some things that the client may not have thought of. We can bring our experience and say, here's what we know scientifically, here's what we know according to research, but everybody's different.
So laying out a buffet of choices, really.
Choices.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, and we just talked about choice on school. Take a look at that post. It's important to know that I just have the ability to choose what I do, how I react, how I behave, how I speak. I can't determine what you should do or what you're going to do. I can just control me. That's it.
Right. And every choice, whether positive or negative, has a consequence, whether positive or negative. And so that goes back to the choice theory, and reality theory is really more or less like, all right, the choice that I make is possibly a control thing that I can do, but I can't make you follow along with my choice.
100%. And really, at the end of the day, I have to decide, so do I want to be right? Or do I want to get along? Do I want to be right, or do I want to be in relationship with you? And quite honestly, again, as we approach this election day, I'm talking politically, and seeing that there is so much division in our country and around the world, we want to build this bridge of connection. And so our hack for you is really begin to look at, how can I create curiosity in myself? How can I just step back and be interested in what's going on with someone else, and come from that posture of, we have got more in common. We probably have more in common than we have that's different. Because at the end of the day, listen, we want to feel safe. We want our kids to feel safe. We want them to have opportunities. We want to be able to make choices. We want to be able to come home and find our home still there. We're not that complicated. And we're just not that different. We've traveled lots of places, and we've seen that the people are kind of like they are here. I mean, there's some cultural nuances, but so what can I learn? How can I feel empathic toward this person? I may not at all understand their view, but I can get curious about, how did they come to that? And I wonder why. I can just be in this place of wondering, and it can keep me open. So openness is so important, and I'm going to stay that way. So, no judgment. I come at it with a no judgment, because once I have a feeling of judgment
or bias,
it's shut down that connection.
I'm just thinking to respond by now.
All I'm about is, I need to convince you that you're wrong. So we want to encourage you. Don't be about convincing. Be about connecting. Be about curiosity. Those are better C words, right?
Those are good words.
So stay open and challenge yourself, and see how you can be a unity person. A builder.
Like, even whenever we look at like things historically that have happened in our past, when you look at 9/11, what was the thing that brought us together? It was community. Community is really important. And having the same, even though not everybody across the nation experienced the same thing, we all systemically experience the same kind of loss. And so just remembering that community is really important. Remember that, like, people do hurt people, but people also heal.
Heal people.
So it
people
really
hurt us,
comes
and they
back
help
to
us.
community, another C word.
Well, and
Connection,
catastrophe like 9/11 is one of those things that does draw people to that very most common element, which is, wow, that hurts. That's scary. That's hard. And we don't want to wait for a catastrophe, right? To address this. And it starts with, my kids they're going to be different than
Yeah.
me. They're going to go the bent they go. It's my husband, my spouse, my partner, my intimate partner, my friends, my parents. We're going to have differences.
Right.
And so if I'm looking always for attempting to make everybody like me, what a boring world that would be.
Right, exactly.
So we want to allow people to be who they are and to love them where they are, just like Jesus did.
Exactly.
So that's our hack for today. And listen, we want to be about building unity. So make that your mantra. How do I build unity today? What can I do? Thank you for joining us.
Take care. We're so glad you joined us today on the Shrink Wrap Show.
If you enjoyed this episode or found it helpful, remember to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and share the show with people you care about.
Also, your feedback is valuable, so leave a comment, question, or suggestion, and we'll see you next time
on the Shrink Wrap Show.